Hey guys, one of the Matts from Herbal House here. Today we're going to do a quick run through of the 100mm 4-inch ventilation package that we include with our kits. Pretty much this is the box you can expect to have turn up on your doorstep. Nice plain brown packaging, just the way everyone likes it. And we'll do a quick run through what you get in the box. So, carefully cutting the box open, of course. We'll show you what's included inside. So, we have the 100mm 4-inch inline fan. We have the 100mm 4-inch 3 meters of ducting included. Oh, sorry, 5 meters in this box with 2 clamps inside. We have the shorter 250mm tall carbon filter included with this one. And of course we have some instructions for getting up and running and a thank you card. So, let's get these unboxed. So pretty much this is the essence of what you get in the kit: fan, filter and ducting, and I'll show you a quick run through on how these can be assembled together. In this video we'll cover a few different ways to set up your ventilation packages. An example, one setup in the floor, a hanging setup and a remote fan setup. So right here is the most compact way to assemble a fan and filter kit. What you'll find is the fan actually slips just inside the filter there. Now, the only thing, if you want to have this assembly, what you'll need is a strip of tape just to seal the air gap in there to ensure that it's got good suction passing through the filter. Now, what you'll find here with the ducting is hidden inside is the clamps for sealing the ducting onto the filter or fan. And what we'll find here is, in this case, there are 4 clamps included with this ducting. We're actually looking to ensure that there's 4 clamps with every kit to basically give you more options for setting it up. Now, with this ducting here, while it doesn't look like 5 meters, it does actually stretch out a fair amount. Now, you don't have to use all of this, that's totally optional, but we give you enough so that you can have a play around with it and find what works best for you, your plants and your tent. You want to ensure the fan orientation is facing the arrow away from the carbon filter. This will ensure a good suction through the filter and not pushing air through it. Okay, so another easy way to set this up is to simply separate the fan and the filter. This is by choice for some people if they'd like the filter in a lower portion of the tent or a higher portion and the fan internal or external of the tent. So what that would require is to take the fan, filter, and what you're going to do is you're going to have an interconnecting piece of ducting between these items. So what you would do is you would stretch the ducting out to suit the length in between and simply cut that with a little bit extra to give you more flexibility. Okay, so for those who want to have the fan mounted in a different position from the filter or vice versa, the main thing to do is simply cut the ducting to suit the length. Now we're doing this as an example to show you how it would be done. What you'd pretty much do is measure out your distance between the fan and the filter. An easy way here is to simply extend the ducting out to suit. Now, it is worth cutting a little bit extra to ensure you have some room to play with, but simply what you're going to do is penetrate the plastic side of the ducting with a knife to reveal the spine within the ducting. Now, you just need to make sure that that is cut with something sharp like a pair of side cutters. That does the job well. And this is your length of ducting. Always be careful when using a knife to cut the ducting. Sometimes a pair of scissors will work better, but in this case you will require a pair of side cutters or cutting device to snip through the wire running through the ducting. So this ducting is pretty much 102mm, whereas the inlet is 100mm on both. This can be quite tight of a fit, but with a bit of finesse and a little bit of force, it will give and it will go on there comfortably. So here we have the ducting fitted. What we're going to do is fit the clamps to ensure a tight seal. Now with these clamps here, they are quick clamps, but they will require a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver to tighten them up. We find it's easiest to pull the strap around the ducting first and feeding it through the locking mechanism. And then placing the locking mechanism in the lock position and tightening the clamp. So in the instance you pretty much fit the fan directly to the filter, easy way is to obviously tape that joint in between to ensure there's no air leaking through. And what we'll do is we'll just sit our length of ducting on top here, slip that over onto the fan, take your clamp, this one's already been pre-tightened, so I'll just loosen that one off a little bit so we can slip it right over. Excellent. What we're going to do is going to take ducting and stretch that out. So in your Eclipse tent, you've got a few choices of vent. We've just chosen the one directly above the fan and filter. So you're pretty much going to stretch the ducting straight up and through this vent. And a good idea is to hopefully have a friend with you to help tighten up these sleeves. Sleeve number 1, sleeve number 2. Pull that drawstring tight to ensure a seal. Double seal it with drawstring number 2. So in the Eclipse grow tents, you'll find you've got a few options for running the ducting in or out of the tent. You've got one here, 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 and here. Now, this one is typically used for power cables as it is only 100mm, but you can creep the 100mm ducting through there if you try. Now, you also have support bars up here, which you can hang equipment off. Typically, this is used for hanging the lights off. However, if you feel inclined, you can hang a filter off. I usually hang the filters from the outer poles. So in this example, we're going to show hanging the filter from the outer bar over here. What we're going to do is set the straps up to make things a little bit easier by just poking those through over this. One strap there and the other strap just here. As it is a short filter, so it does make things a little bit easier. For the bigger equipment, I'd definitely recommend getting a friend to help you out. We find it's best to tighten the loop strap by pulling the strap up through from the bottom of the buckle, over the hoop and back down through, pulling it tight to suit. So with the two straps hanging here, you can simply place the filter inside carefully. Again, with the big filters, it is worth having a second set of hands to help you out with this. Now, for some people, this is perfectly fine the way we've got it, with the filter hanging at this height. But what you can do, of course, with the straps is you can tighten those up to give you more height. When you're done adjusting the straps, simply roll those up out of the way. So if you choose to go for the combination of fan and filter fitted together, like so, of course don't forget to seal that up, but what you can do is take this strap here and move it across to support the weight of the fan. This will allow this combination of fan and filter to hang in place, and it will suspend any vibration from the fan, keeping things a little bit quieter. So in this combination, we have the filter, fan and ducting. Please ensure that the fan direction arrow is facing away from the filter. We want to ensure there is good airflow coming through the filter. Now, the next thing is to duct the ducting external of the tent. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to poke it through this top vent here. Now, there is plenty of ducting here. It's a bit overkill, but we'll get to that later. So this is one of my preferred installation methods. What I do is I suspend the filter inside the tent and I have the fan external. I find it's a lot easier to set up. You're simply connecting from the filter to the ducting and feeding the ducting through the top, where we'll show where the fan will be placed. You don't require much ducting for this setup, as it is going to be situated right there. So another good idea to ensure that your ventilation is adequately leaving the room is to run the ducting from the outlet of the fan and simply duct it off outside a window. You want to make sure you have enough ducting to achieve this, obviously, but it's totally up to you. So once you've set up your ventilation equipment for extracting the air, we now want to make sure you have adequate air coming into the tent. And you want to ensure that you're allowing air into the tent from the opposite side in which it is being extracted. My next suggestion would be to use one of these extra duct ports and simply using a piece of ducting. So what you're going to do is take your excess ducting, you're going to stretch that out and poke it through, tighten that up around the ducting to seal it up, So that's going to let some air into the tent, and then what you're going to do is you're going to run that excess ducting off somewhere where no light can come through it. This is going to allow air to come into the tent, and it's going to allow it to be extracted, keeping a good positive airflow running through the tent. This ventilation package can be purchased from Herbal House at herbals.co.nz. The ventilation package comes in 2 different variations for different filter sizes, starting at $199 for the 250mm long filter and $240 for the 500mm long filter. These prices include free delivery and a Herbal House 2-year warranty. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us or send an email through to matt@herbals.co.nz. Thanks all for watching. There'll be more videos to come in the near future. Our details are in the description below. Give us a call and we'd love to hear from you. See you next time.